Good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us, Dr. Jones. Two things we're going to talk about. First, we're going to talk about Rwanda, and then we're looking ahead to the net migration figures due later this week. But first, can we talk about this amnesty of illegals? Can you talk us through what's happening this time?
Well, obviously, any proposed amnesty is going to be completely counterproductive to the aims of the government. It's going to completely conflict with the views of the British public. It's going to contradict the Conservative Party's manifesto. It will increase the pull factor. It will send a very negative signal in terms of the rule of law and the administration of the immigration system.
And Mike, we saw last week 100,000 work visas being granted because asylum seeker claims couldn't be processed quick enough. And here we go again, yet more. A lot of these people could have come to the country illegally, and because they can't be processed out, they're being given the right to work. This is a people smugglers charter, isn't it?
Essentially, you have issues in the Home Office to do with productivity, the processing of asylum claims. There's a lack of capacity there. But ultimately, this all comes down to the legal architecture that exists in the UK and the fact that there are laws, both transnational and domestic, that prevents governments from detaining and deporting people. And this is imposing a huge burden on the taxpayer. And it's imposing a huge burden on infrastructure and social cohesion.
OK, Mike, we're expecting the net migration figures later this week. Last year it was net 606,000. That's a couple of Birminghams just chucked into Britain. Are we expecting less this time? I've heard in the region of about 500,000. Is your intel along those lines?
My gut instinct is the net migration figures will come down slightly, simply because the number of people coming on the BNO visa go down. The number of Ukrainians migrating from Ukraine to the UK will decrease. But there are other visas that will show an increase in numbers. So I'm expecting the overall figures to come down, but not by a huge amount.
And Mike, there's one thing they've put in place they say will stop this, and that is the skilled worker visa. They're going to put the salary cap up from 26,000 to 30,000. Do you think that will have any impact whatsoever?
It'll have some impact on the margins, but ultimately you need to cap the skilled worker visa rather than sort of tinkering about with the criteria for the points-based system. You need an upper number there that the Home Office is going to abide to, but ultimately we've seen the skilled worker visa debased, the skill qualifications for that has been reduced, and it's being used as a Trojan horse for low and medium skilled workers, and that's not what it was designed for.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. OK, thank you, Dr. Mike Jones, Executive Director of Migration Watch. Thanks for joining us on the show.